you, move on you, move on you. I'ma move for you, that kind of
The something that my neighbor screen last, and I will let Judah as a senator. You give me confirmation power, but I'm coerced to confirm people. So with people who saying that the vice president and myself will not work together, I think the vice president doesn't want to work with me. I want to say clearly to the public so they can understand. We have been subjected like a bare ball, and I asked Samuel Kuga not going to accept that. Once I was elected as a senator of the country, I must be given the opportunity to recommend my citizen. It is my fiduciary responsibility. I can't sit now, a group of citizens crying on me for job. Then one individual supersedes everything he does, the country work, he does the nation work. Then who am I? If a vice president goes to the president and they say, well, Nima Kandi and my country live with me, I don't cut say teamwork, he will listen to him. But in my mind, the vice president should reciprocate. He and more than he can go to the vice president or the president to say that anything that has to do, please refer to me. Equally so. When we make recommendations, it should be accepted as a legislator of the country. They show good faith, but you cannot be the only one that will take the shot. Then we live on a wayward. No, I don't think that's the proper way forward to go. And ask Samuel Kuga will not accept it. I can tell you for free. Where the period of time that the Liverpool elected me for, the time elapsed, and they want to take their job, fine. But if the Liverpool know that I'm somebody who is a straight talker, and they know that I can defend them, fine. I don't think that is the way we're supposed to go. We need to respect each other in this country. Politics should not be because I got the upper hand, so therefore I can suppress anybody. No, for me, I'm a water. When you tie me on the other side, I can bust another way to make way for me to live. And what I'm saying here is what's happening. It's not secret. The vice president is listening to people that all that meant that pretty soon he will be vice president running me to somebody. So he believes in it. Maybe he want to elevate me. My disappointment is, number one, now the vice president often tell me, since he got a seat as vice president, how many persons have I recommended in this government to serve in the government as presidential appointee? 0. Every appointment in Nima Kandi was done by him. He and I would discuss something as a brother. To implement it, you will bypass me and do different things. I better keep it. I don't talk on it. Look at what happened in this number 5. If my brother sincerely want to work with me, he's not listening to gossip. And we're working in harmony with respect to each other. You don't think he's supposed to call me and say, my man, the election here. Why you're thinking? Because you are the one over there. Anybody that regular with that member say what get sugar that why you die for? Is that what the all gonna sickness or disease on me?
Whoa! MTN mobile money now do it for the first time in Liberia.
These things could happen behind the scenes. So I supported Joseph Parker, knowing that by 2023 he'll be tired. Okay. Knowing that 2023 he'll be tired, he could have a good heart, everything good, but the brain is going down. You're not holding the end, you're moving down the hill. This is nature. My father, right now, I buy him paper. Every day I gotta buy paper. There's a man who bought me paper before. Mm-hmm. I'm buying paper now because the time has reached. So I thought the old man could be president in 2017 and run for this. And he himself said, he said, when you run for one term, he himself said it. I agree with him. 2023, no, I disagree. In my mind, he should rest, find somebody else.
I'm filled with a profound sense of a united nation that will
Inauguration Day, everybody happy. We are rejoicing over the defeat of the old regime. We are rejoicing about our effort to bring a new regime. Then we'll sing down with happiness. We go write paper for that 79-year-old man. He's struggling to read. Then you go there, I will tell you that nation, I will tell the US, I will bring 1.4 here. Because you think 1.4 are very Johnson. By the time the old man was reading, when he got to the page,
when you elect a clown and you think that he will be a king, what he does is to convert the kingdom into a circus. This is what we must deal with, and this is what we must say. Who do we elect into our public offices? Because, as I've said before, when you allow hyenas to take care of goats, why should you be surprised when the goats are eaten? This is the same. And Africa is only going to realize our potential in all areas when, by dint of choice, we enable and allow our best men and women to serve in different areas. I've heard it being said about Lee Kuan Yew in Singapore. I've heard it being suggested about Mahathir Mohamad in Malaysia. I've heard it being said about Japan. I've heard it being said about other countries. But there was a conscious decision on the part of those individuals and the followership. We always talk about leaders, but we never talk about the followers. The followers must also style up. Africans on average are for some reason attracted to thieves. Africans are for some reason attracted to men and women who cannot serve her. And when they are not served, then they complain. When Africans are told, choose you now whom we shall release, Jesus of Nazareth or Barabbas, they say, release Barabbas. And when Barabbas behaves like Barabbas, they say, why are you not behaving like Christ? It cannot be done.
In May of 2001, signed a second of two executive orders, number 13213, Defense Exhibit D310, in which it was stated, and I quote, the government of Liberia's complicity in the RUF's illicit trade in diamonds and its other forms of support for the RUF are direct challenges to the United States foreign policy objectives in the region, as well as the rule-based international order that is critical to the peace and prosperity of the United States. Therefore, I find these actions by the government of Liberia contribute to the unusual and extraordinary threat to the foreign policy of the United States described in Executive Order 13194, with respect to which the President declared a national emergency. This executive order did not say the alleged complicity, it concluded the complicity. The conspiracy was born, all systems put into motion, and here I stand today. I never stood a chance. This is the broader contextual matrix that regrettably did not and still has not seen the light of day in these proceedings, despite the gallant efforts by the defense to unearth and reveal the contextual framework behind the charges against me. Now, with the two executive orders, the dogs were let out, so to speak. What followed was a dispatch of the attack pack led by Lieutenant Colonel David Crane, Defense Intelligence, 30 years, prosecutor. He, Crane, unlawfully unsealed the court's sealed indictment to his handlers, senior U.S. government officials at the U.S. Embassy in Freetown, and was never held to account. The rest of the operational team are Colonel Brandon Hollis, Defense Intelligence, CIA, U.S. Air Force, Senior Trial Counsel, and our prosecutor. James C. Johnson, U.S. Army expert, 20 years on conventional and special operations, Chief of Prosecutions for the SCSL. Alan White, 30 years, Defense Intelligence, recalled from retirement to head up investigations at the Special Court of Sierra Leone. Stephen J. Rapp came on board as chief prosecutor for a short time of experience from Capitol Hill, where he served with the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee sometime before. It came as no surprise to me that as a reward of sorts for Stephen Rapp's diligence in the execution of U.S. foreign policy objectives through these ad hoc tribunals, he was appointed U.S. Ambassador at Large for War Crimes issues. In support of the contextual framework of politics on February 8, 2006, of his personal and leadership obligations to the West African sub-region. And therein lies the dilemma for current African heads of state and government, but how to enter into binding commitments and obligations with the African pairs and remain steadfast, resolute, and unyielding in their fidelity to those agreements in the face of such unrelenting and punishing pressure from powerful Western leaders.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up from your slumber, stop sleeping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know y'all sleeping now. Y'all gotta wake up small, yeah? Okay, let's go.
Okay, let's go. Since we are not sleeping, you too should not be sleeping. Because when you sleep, you miss the important part of the day, the platform that climaxes everything that transpires during the course of the day. And that's why we are here to talk the hard issues. Let me say, very, very pleasant.
We tire with the promises that led us to a lot of damages.
Good evening to all of you across the country.
Good
morning, good afternoon, good evening to those of you in the diaspora, our friends, our fans, our followers, our critics, and even those of you who do not like the things we say and the way we say them. It's good to have all of you joining us tonight. Very important issues to talk about, as always. And so the invitation is yours to stick and stay with us. This show is proudly sponsored by Crime Stopper Liberia of Omen Samsung, a former CEO. And we are here. My name is Austin Kawa. Junkies Morris is also here. And together we are going to drive you straight up to 10 o'clock tonight, talking the real hard issues.
My people don't want to hope on nobody. My hope that I have them broken.
And very shortly, we take a break from our sponsor, Crime Stopper Liberia. When we come back, all of you joining us via our Facebook live feed tonight, we welcome all of you to the show because the lineup is very, very interesting tonight.
People suffer, no work for people crying for hunger. Your vision and your mission, your intention to the nation, they poor. You got nothing to show, nothing. So why? The government should lie. We want peace in Liberia. Peace in Morocco.
Hello. I want to talk about violence. More violence is indiscriminate. It can happen for any reason and to anyone. Until we do something to stop the surge of vigilante-side justice in this country, none of us will be safe. My Liberia is Liberia of hope. In my Liberia, it is possible. Violence is not part of my Liberia. Violence leads to property damage, injury, or even death, as we are seeing recent months in several parts of Liberia, including Monrovia. Talk to people in your community about violence. Stand up against mob justice. Be a community hero. Liberia is all that we have. We must all unite to uphold the rule of law. This is Old Man Sam Sion, your community crime fighting partner. Thanks for listening. This is Old Man Sam Sion.
Thank you so much, Old Man Sam Sion. Thank you so much, all of you joining us tonight. Junkies Morris.
What's up, Ostu?
I mean, I'm good. I'm okay. How was the weekend?
By God's grace, as usual. He carried us and he man us well.
Yeah, I know. So what do we have? I see a long list. What are we talking about tonight?
Yeah, basically, Paris Africa Summit is on the plate.
Yes, the president is in Nairobi, right?
So we dig deep into that.
Yes, we
no one will bend me down for job. Sando Dazo Johnson exposes no one will bend me down for job. Former Minister Samuel Toy defeated the government again. Joe Bwaka and Jeremiah miss out on this one. Prices on the market today, Austin, it will surprise you to know that this morning I purchased water. Since the morning I've been purchasing water for $10. One sachet, $10 for bag.
Okay, so he's talking about the plastic bag.
Yeah,
water.
the plastic bag water, $10. We'll also deal with that because Liberian people need answer. And President, we have visited to the late Robert Clark resident that saw, a huge convoy of motorcyclists escorting him and cheering.
How do you even know that we are in the car?
And then so one person just get that information and just spread a wildfire. And they were chanting, we are no more Bwaka, we are no more Bwaka. So those are, our landlords and other things to be added.
Liberians and the politics. It seems like everybody has forgotten about what is before us, and everybody is talking about 2029. No, but you gotta go back up. So we start the recognition from up. Yeah, I see Mawata Benedict joining us. Phoenicia's Junior Bar has joined us. Folks, I'm not too well, so but we're good. We'll get there. Saturday, Wonduwule is joining tonight. What's that?
Mailu
Fofana. Alex Wiley, Kobwe Wida, Henry To Jr., Liquidity DeWeed, my brother, it's been a while. PC Massacre, Hilton Wille Jedo. Is that Dubon Hill or Darlington Dennis? Darlington Dennis. Rebecca Cannon, welcome to the show, all of you. Invite others to follow the show. Honorable J.D. Williams, welcome, Big Boss. It's good to see you here tonight. Stephen Yagadi, Moses Swan, all of you. Thanks to all of you for joining us tonight. Abraham Addison, Jerome Palmer, Emmanuel Bro, welcome, bro. Thank you for joining me. Yasa Sharif, it's been a very long while. It's good to have you here today. Samuel Hollywood is following tonight. Sylvester is joining the show. Favor Morris. You came Liberia. I didn't see you. So Kiazulu, Jerison, Tokpa, Sidiki, Tuare, Maria, Ivy, all of you. Welcome to the show. Our diaspora audience. We are now live online. We have an online radio. The online radio is activated now. So in case you can't get us via the internet, or you don't want to be driving and listening to us or watching us, you can use your phone and just log in. I'm going to share. We're sharing Freedom FM online platforming all of the Freedom FM chat rooms. So any Freedom FM chat room you go to right now, you'll be able to get us. The link is there, and you can access Freedom FM. So those of you in the diaspora now, you don't need to be watching us when you're driving. You don't need to miss the show while the show is on anymore. Once you're driving, just put your radio on. You can log into the platform, listen to us via the online radio, and drive safe. So yes, that's the first good news as part of our reform process here at Freedom FM. Felicia Swain is following Gertrude Wilson, Fazari Sheton, Benjamin Yiman, Karim Kroman, Rabos, I'm calling that name there. I'm putting it there. Rabos Perez. Yeah, these Arsenal people will not give us chance here in our ear. Yeah, man. All of you, Gion Jekpa, Martina Bona, Eric Talu, Sigon Ayini, all of you, man. It's good to have all of you. Mantonian son, Oliver Chi, Musa Brown from Washington. I think so. Musa Brown is watching us. Jeremiah Kule, Daniel Hayes, all of you. Thanks, folks. It's good to have all of you joining us. We need to expand our viewing audience, especially those of you who listen to us via online. No, folks have been complaining or seeing you off and on the show. Yes, I think this semester coming in, and so we're just the schedule for do the next semester, so we don't miss Tuesday and Wednesday, on the show. Yeah, so we're good now. But JUNKIES, let's kickstart. We see a lot of folks trying to join us, join the show tonight, which is encouraging. So today, President, we're seeing which community was that?
Well, I think that should be the balance area.
Okay, the balance.
Balance
Balance people are on the alert. Anyway. So we saw the crowd today, the motorcyclists, those are we as people, yes, those are his boss. They always on the alert, they are always waiting, to cheer him. They believe in him, they believe in his leadership. So seeing motorcyclists, the young people from across the country, always wanting to celebrate George Weah whenever the year he is around. For some of us, that does not surprise us. Because Weah has given the young people enough adequate reasons why they must celebrate him. They believe in him, they know him, they trust him, they love him, and their love for him is not fake. So Weah will always be celebrated. And then, in addition to that, the system that we have, the country is, the country is struggling, the people are struggling. The country is hard. Things are difficult. Liberians are angry. They are disappointed in the leadership we have in charge. And so they will always see Weah as an alternative to them. So for me, Junkins, we have a lot of things to talk about. George Weah already knows that we are supporting him. But we need the folks to know that Liberians today, motorcyclists, celebrated George Weah again. That's what we need to know. They celebrated him. They drove along with him and said, "We will not stop until we reach the place."
Until we reach the place where you go.
So you need to know that those of you who believe that George Weah is popular, those of you who think that George Weah is not coming back to power, he has no chance of returning to power, you need to know that George Weah is being celebrated every day amongst the young people, especially. So there's no surprise about that. What's the thing about price? The plastic bag. Let me bring the microphone. Because I want to be looking in your face while we're having this conversation. Because, you're telling me that you bought water today, $10?
I'm telling you, Austin, even this water, I bought this water $75.
I didn't even ask Edis because I sent Edis to get me 2 bottles. Not too long. He got me 2 bottles.
Yeah. He pay, of the strong conviction that he paid $150.
So let me see, 500, 400, 5 plus 4 than 900. Then how Edis bought the water now? He gotta give me $5. And he bought me change. Okay, let me see the change, bro. So I can calculate. See how many, bro? 5, 6, 7. 5, 6, 7, 8. It's like 800, yeah. So that's true. You bought the 150.
Yeah.
You got $5 is
$9.50.
So yeah, so $5 you gotta give it. Yes, I give it. So $5 is $9.50. So it's true. So he bought the water. So this bottle of water, folks,
$75.
for years, we have bought this water $50. For years, to be doing this show every day, I'll give Eddie's $100 to go and buy 2 bottles. For years, 2 bottles, $50. Today, we are buying water. This water you see. For all those years, we bought water. This bottle, 50 LD. The only place you pay more money for this water is in some of these restaurants that have to pay GST.
Those classic places,
yes. But this water, ordinarily in the street, we pay $50 Liberian for this bottle of water. The one they call the sachet, the one in a plastic bag, is $5 Liberian. We pay $5 Liberian for that plastic bag water for all those years. Not one day under George Weah's government, the price of water went up. Today, we are buying water $75 in the ordinary places. And the sachet, the $5 water is $5. But Junkins, the folks need to know why we're buying water, why the price of water has gone up.
Yeah, why water is $10
because
instead of $5.
Last week, you see, the government folks will have to accept this as a reality. That the people are no longer listening to, the people have alternatives and they have options. And there are men around here to elect the people and then expose the government government's weaknesses and critique the poor quality of the decisions that they are making. Last week we here and announced, if I will read to you that the LRA has increased GST
From 10% to 13%.
from 10% to 13% last week. And in that analysis, we told you that the government is not going, the increase in GST is not going to affect Joe Barker and his family. We told you the increase in GST will not affect Augustine Gafwan. We told you that the increase in GST is not going to affect Katumu. No. We told you that the increase in GST is not going to affect Jeremiah Kun. It will not affect his ministers, his family members. We told you that increasing GST will affect the ordinary people. Every time taxes or fees are increased, businesses will increase their prices. When businesses increase their prices, you and myself, who are the end users, we are at the last stage of the production chain. Yeah, that one. Economic. So we are at the last stage of the production chain. So the goods is produced up there, it trickles down to the consumers. That's why we are at the last stage of the production chain. So we are, because we are the consumers. The clothes they're facing, the water they're facing, the surgery they're facing, the beer they're facing, the food, everything they're facing. We consume them, we wear them, we drink them, we eat them. So we are the consumers. That's why we are the end. So they call us the end users. So every time the government increases taxes or fees, it affects the ordinary people. That now the government does not get affected. The businesses do not get affected. We get affected. So when we told you last week that the government's decision to increase fee or GST, goods and service tax, we told you that these things prices were going to increase. We told you these things prices are going to increase because the people are not going, the businesses will not want to sell at a loss. No business wants to sell at a loss. So that the 3 or 4 percentage point of increase on GST, the business people only added it to their water, to their goods. We're buying water $5. They put nickel on it. We're buying the plastic water $10. We were paying $50 for the bottled water. We are now paying $75 for the bottled water. $25 have been added to your purchasing power. It means your ability or your capacity to spend money has increased by $25 just on if you buy the bottled water. And it has increased by $5 if you are buying the plastic water. Not just that. We are only talking water tonight. But last week we used the other beverages, right? The soft drink, the beer, or Star. We use them as references. You go to the restaurants, if you are paying $5 to eat for food, you can't pay $5 anymore. You must start paying $1,000 or $7 for food. If you are buying a poto sandwich for $6, you could start paying $8 for it. Because the government has increased GST.
Yeah.
So when you go to buy a food to eat, it does not affect the government. It benefits the government. It does not affect the business. It benefits the business. But mind you, in some cases too, these local businesses, small businesses get affected. How? Because once you increase the man's ability to spend, when you increase taxes, you reduce the man's ability to spend. And when the man can no longer spend, the business people will not make money. And when the small businesses do not make money, the economy gets tougher. Nobody's spending money. How money will circulate?
The circular flow is just stagnant.
Sure. So you don't see money circulating. Nobody buying. And that's how you increase poverty, because people are not buying. When you're not consuming, you poor. People start dying from starvation now. In addition to the increment in GST, we do not have stable electricity. So to find cold water in Central Monrovia, the nation's capital, it's difficult. Ellis will run all around looking for cold water to buy. He can't get cold water. Some business people ask you, when are you stringent here? The capital city to find cold water, because there is no stable electricity. So the woman who is selling cold water and cold drinks, she has to go buy ice from the ice factory. That money she go spend to buy ice, she will put it on her drinks. She will put it on her drinks. Then when she put it on her drinks, the price will increase. When you go there to buy, that you paying. The government benefits, because a 4 percentage point that is increased on the that is added on the GST goes to the government. It goes to the government benefits. So this is the process that is being used to finance or service the huge salaries and benefits of lawmakers, of ministers, and the president and his family people. Because it does not benefit us. The taxes increased. How is it benefiting you? You are going to bed hungry. You don't have jobs. You don't have shelter. You don't have access to quality education. You don't have access to quality healthcare. You don't have access to everything. Infrastructure. No drinking water for you. Just nothing. The roads are poor. The country is dirty, poor sanitation. But your budget has increased to 1.2 billion. The government ministers' salaries have not reduced. Their gas slips have not reduced. Their cars are being changed after 2-3 years. The price for their car has not dropped. They're still spending $45,000 to buy their cars. The lawmakers are still taking the benefits. There is no government official appointee in this country and lawmakers and members of the judiciary whose benefits have been reduced. You know who are affected, even though your budget has increased from 800 million to 1.2 billion? That money is supposed to trickle down to improve the living conditions of the people, the ordinary people. Instead, that money is being used to improve the lives of the haves. Those who already have it, those who can already afford. Civil servants are still taking pay for last month. Today is, I think, 12th or 13th. Yeah, today is the 11th. And civil servants are still taking pay for last month. But our budget has increased to 1.2 billion. The question is, where is the government spending our money? I mean, the question about the government's priority. So now you're paying more money for goods and services. You and myself, we are paying more money on goods and services because we must eat. Your needs, you must eat. You can't go without eating. You can't go without drinking. And when you eat, you gotta drink. You can't go without shelter. You have to pay house rent. You can't go without shelter. You can't go naked. You must wear clothes. That in Liberia, can say, man, I'm supposed to go to school. But in other country, education, that global education is a fundamental right. So you must go to school. Healthcare, you must have health. You need health. You need healthcare. Those are fundamental needs, right? The government must provide for you. In your country, you don't have all of those things available to you. But taxes and fees are being increased every day by the government. Because of that, things prices are going up. even a little plastic bag water that we are supposed to be able to afford. We can't. You're increasing prices of everything. Everything. I mean, Junkies, I don't know what you have to say about that, but I mean, it's just appalling.
Seriously?
Yeah, it is.
Seriously?
It's disappointing.
Because even it was like joke. Initially, it was like joke to hear a business person telling me that I should pay $10 for water. So, at that time, I just woke up now from bed. So I thought something happened while I was in bed, like maybe riot or maybe rebellious incursion, something that will trigger such thing. Because the last time I checked, when we had such issue, it was during the Ebola time, during the regime of Mr. Boakai and Madame Serif. But at least that one was justified. The fact that we had a pandemic, let's say an epidemic we were faced with, I think it was somehow, some way justifiable, because almost everything was just stored. Unlike this time, Boakai does not have any excuse to give to Liberians why water should be sold for $10. There can be no way Boakai would justify such a bad leadership precedent that seeing common people who, in fact, to get for face, it's not easy. Then you want those people to purchase water for $10, and in your mind, it is the right thing you are doing. And Boakai is sitting there. Boakai is not addressing the nation. Boakai is only throwing jabs disrespectfully, and Boakai is responding with cheeks that Liberians have never heard of. So all Liberians need to do, Liberians need to be serious, put themselves together to call on Mr. Boakai, for Boakai to do the needful, because all the 2029 people are wishful of. How sure are we that the way rice price going up, water price going up, and water are life?
But Junkie, sorry to interrupt. So you want Liberians to call on Boakai to do the needful?
Yeah.
Which needful?
Oh, hey, Boakai can be heated. Yeah, you can put heat behind Boakai.
And this is the heat we're doing. We're putting behind Boakai.
Oh, so that the only heat there.
No, let me tell you something, bro. Even if you take 1 million human beings and place them in a street to pressure Mr. Boakai without any protest, without any police brutality or anything, the issue is about the lack of capacity and intelligence to do a piece of job. And to do a piece of job, you must understand that job first. When we told people that, hey, I say this every day, Junkies, I know that UP and CDC are the two major political parties in the country. No argument about that, right?
No argument about that.
But who a political party selects matters.
That's the core of the matter.
In my mind, all of our analysis during the election period, this is exactly what we were talking about. When you tell people that Mr. Boakai does not have the capacity, the thing is only about education. We're talking about. No, we're not talking about education. We're talking about capacity to lead a country.
Your physical fitness.
Almost every technical detail that is required of a person. And we kept placing emphasis on Mr. Boakai's capacity or ability to understand what is happening around him. Because as a leader, you must know what is happening around you.
You gotta be mentally fit. Mentally fit.
So if you brought an old man who does not understand what is happening around him, how does he lead? How does he govern? He wouldn't lead. He wouldn't govern. There should be no mistake. The UP folks should be making no mistake, and that's why you see they don't. Do you see any UP person justifying on Facebook?
No.
And you see them,
they are quiet,
being arrogant. When you got no fish in the market, oh, but go but go to the sea, go fishing, you go find fish. No agriculture, no rest in the market. Agriculture means that but you can go back, you can go grow your own rest. These are the kinds of responses we get from them because
throwing jobs.
they have already told you or made you to understand that George Weah and the CDC did not know anything, did not know what they were doing, and they knew what they wanted to do. They knew the system. They were the master of the architecture that we have and all of that. So they were going to solve the problem. Now that they cannot solve the problem, they resort to arrogance. This country is going to be like I don't want to call it, I don't want to say a mess. I want a stronger word to use to describe but Liberia is going to be like a rejected dump site. Okay?
I describe it as an obsessed pool.
Liberia is going to be a rejected dump site. You know, imagine dump site. Then dump site that is not even being used, or that has already been used. Abandoned. That's how Liberia is going to end up on Mr. Bwaka. I'm telling you something serious. And these things are not done yet. We are just having conversation about water or beverages. That's it. That's just GST. They've not even started fully or implementing VAT. Because when you get 13% increase in GST and you introducing value added tax. If we want to try to implement it the way it is implemented in other countries, like Ghana, then we're going to start buying water $2 US, equivalent in US dollar, in LD $4. I mean $400. If the way it works in other countries, where you pay for everything you buy, I mean, you pay on everything you buy. In other countries, VAT, a tax security or agent or whosoever they call can walk to you for a plastic bag from the supermarket. You go to the supermarket, you buy, and walk to you and ask you to make full disclosure or ask for your receipt, your purchase receipt. And look at your receipt, and they value your goods, and they bill you. You pay your tax.
Your value added tax.
Yes. Every time you buy, every time you purchase, you must pay for what you purchase to the government. So you pay for what you purchase to the government. You go to the supermarket, everything you buy, you must pay to the government. Honestly, you must pay taxes on the things you buy to the government. So I see that the technicians who know these things far better than us are not having conversations about these things.
You're pretending.
They're not having conversations about these things. And Liberia, look, you sit down, you see people who can really afford or who could afford, they're telling you the country is hard. It is serious. The country is hard because the system that is in charge is extremely corrupt and ill knowledgeable about governance. The only thing they know or they care about is to steal and divide the country. So it appears that everybody fighting the country is just in crisis. 3 years the country is in crisis. So disorganized, disjointed. Nothing is coherent. The entire system is broken down to ashes. No system in this country. Point to one system in this country that is working. Just one system. One system. Because they say CDC broke down. CDC spoiled the country. They destroyed the country. They broke everything down. One system that they built that you think that is working. Or one system that they have built. Under the CDC government, the National Identification Registry was effective. Under UP, it is dead. It is non-functional. The office is shut down. Nobody is issuing citizen ID card in this country. So if you don't have a citizen ID card and it is a travel requirement or requirement to travel, you can't travel because the government is not issuing citizen ID card since last year. So the National Identification Registry that is supposed to be issuing citizen identification, the system is broken down. The office is shut down. Nothing is happening, and the government is so satisfied and relaxed about it. relax about it. So the question is, show me one system that is working. Most of the government activity is about opposition, targeting opposition people and going using the courts to get their things done. We can't run a country like this. We can't continue to sit down and see these things happening. Some of us, the kind of passion we have for radio, especially when it comes to talking for people, I feel proud. I can open my arm. I love to open my arm and say that Austin Kawa down there. You know why? Because they say that Austin down there because they know Austin for one thing. He can talk for people, the ordinary people, on Freedom FM.
Mm-hmm.
So we feel proud doing that.
Sure. Yo,
we feel proud that we come here. We don't come here to lie to you. We come here to talk the issues.
Yes, the issues.
But we talk the issues the hard way, the hard issues. We talk them the hard ways to beat senses in the heads of our officials, considering the fact that they will regain their consciousness to start to do what is right. Government is not a business place. It's not a place to profiteer. You can't keep increasing taxes, service charges, with the knowledge that the people will not get affected. You care less about the ordinary people. You care less. I mean, it's just simple that it's just elementary to understand that every time you increase taxes, it affects the people. People cannot buy. If you're buying 2 sacks of water every day, you go home now, you gotta start buying one. Because there is over 25% increment on water. Just on water. Not 25, but 50% increment just on water. Because 25 added to the bottled water.
Yeah, 50% increment.
50% increment just on water. 50% increment on water. We're buying $5 now, buying it $10. 50% increment on water. And as we speak, only water we know about. We don't know about the other goods. I mean, the other goods. Just water. Just water. And just water in the street. That water has been sold in the different places, the different corners. Those who used to go into the restaurants to eat, they have not even shared their own stories with us. And I know some people will go to the restaurant and order food. Some will sit in their offices and order food and drinks. They don't even look at the bill. They just ask how much they pay. So they may not even easily notice
that there is an increment.
That water has increased, or soft drink, or beer, or Star, or Malta. They don't even know. Some will not notice it because they just go and eat. After eating, what's the bill? They pay.
Mm-hmm.
When they start to notice it, they change.
They go different places.
The people who are drinking their bottled water now, they can't afford to go to plastic water.
But you got to drive to plastic water.
The people who cannot afford to buy to pay $10 for, because the water in the plastic bag is small. So what you need to drink at least about 6 to 8 bags. Eh? Somebody used to spend $40 to drink on water every day. Now the person has to spend $80 on water every day because the person has to drink at least about 8 bags of that water every day. Because when I'm drinking the plastic bag water, I just not 3 on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
3! Because I can really drink. So imagine people have to start managing drink that water, the water consumption.
I will be one of the men to be affected because my second drink.
To drink water, you have to start managing it, your consumption level.
So we got to maneuver everything that has to do with consuming.
Yes.
Oh Lord.
So if the man spending $80 just to drink every day, which is small already, how much does he spend to eat? How much? The other I know my auntie and the other Kobo shop people coming start. I got a roof because the roof patch there Kobo Benin.
Yeah.
So I got to ask her how much she spend, how much they spend to buy, for food today. Because the guy somewhere I know say food, I think 300 or 400. Maybe that place something go up to $500 or $600. The money may sound small, but it's not small. When you aggregate your daily expenses, then you know that life is hard. Put the water money one side, put the food money there, put the transportation there, because transportation, everything will increase now. Everything will increase.
The transportation of 50 that
Yes.
it will increase to 75 or 80.
So you add the transportation there, you add the water money there, you add the eating money there, and other different things, especially those of us who got children who have to pay their transportation to go to school every day, lunch and everything. You put everything together, your daily expenses almost around
Because
$30
if,
a day.
if they were buying bread for $20, it increased
on
to
campus.
40 or 50 on campus.
Yes.
So
The
that's
students
how
will get affected.
it's just affecting and trickling down
And you know
negatively
these
to every
students
facet.
literally, they can ready drink. What they want soft drink, they want water, they want this.
And
So,
they can be sweating because
yes.
the classes will be heated.
And people think this is just a joke. Stationaries, the offices will start complaining about every entire society, every fabric of the society is affected by this increment. And somebody sitting somewhere is thinking or arguing that all is good. Because the $3,000 salary or $5,000 salary and all of their costs are not affected. In fact, they may get more costs because they have already connived with the businesses to even maybe to probably LRA to increase. So they may benefit more. And you suffer. I read a post today from a colleague. He said 3 months now, no water in Clarendon. Yes. He posted today 3 months. He said 3 months, no water in Clarendon. Where do you expect the people in from Clarendon to get water to drink? When there is no running water, because our place are some lane, you can't deep well down there for drinking. So they depend or rely either on the sachet water to drink or water and seawater. Where do they get water from to take bath? They can't get clean drinking water easily in the community to take bath.
No way.
They need water and seawater. So imagine the quality of life those people are living in those slum communities. Only because government cannot provide them access to basic essentials. The basic needs. Then on top of it, we increase GST. That one directly affects your livelihood. GST directly affects your livelihood. That is a goods and service tax. That one are the taxes that directly affect Liberians, the ordinary people that are there. Because anything you buy, anything you do, once you are consuming, and consumption it only mean what goes in your stomach. That is consumption or end users.
The one you can wear and all.
When you wear it,
you consume.
Yes. It affects you. It affects me. Then imagine those who do not even have a fixed or stable income. How do they live? How do they survive? You know who bears the burden? But it's good for them. Then somebody that didn't will say Liberian people can beg too much. Mr. Barker, who is the president, will complain that Liberians can beg. How do you expect them to survive? You didn't give them a job. You are not educating them. You're not giving them water. You're not giving them anything. Then you're increasing the prices of everything in the market. And they are not working. They are not doing business. Even the ones that try to do business, you are chasing them every day in the street. How do you expect them to survive? Then you say the people that are begging. They don't say that people can beg. Baga say that people can beg. So everybody complain that Liberians can beg. They're beggars, they're beggars, they're beggars. What do you expect them to do? What do you want them to do? How do you expect them to survive? You feel proud sitting people from all walks of the society. There is nobody in this country besides government officials that will not tell you that you will not meet, or that you meet and they don't tell you that the country is hard. Except that person does not live here. People who go to work running their private offices. Do you know the government also increased gasoline price? They
Yes.
adjusted it upward.
Sure.
Sure. Last week before last, right? They issued a circular. The government also officially last year adjusted the price of gasoline and fuel upward. They increased the price of gasoline and fuel last week. What do you think is going to happen? Transportation fare is going to increase. The drivers are paying more now for gas. They were added on the transportation fare. It will not affect the drivers. It's going to affect you. But guess how it will affect the driver? When that driver feeling taking the high transportation from you, when he goes to buy water, if you are paying $50,
Yes, sir. He got to
pay
pay
$75.
additional $25.
If you was paying $600 to eat, the owner feeling having the kobo up to $700 now.
Yeah.
So it affects everybody. Everybody. Directly or indirectly. So the people will beg. You reduce your citizens into beggars. You reduce them into beggars. So I hate to hear people that, oh, they talk to the government, oh, the government will do this, the government will do that. The government ain't get capacity to do anything. This government does not have the capacity, it does not have the willingness. It is not serious to do anything positive in this country. Trust me. And we'll say this thing, we'll be saying this thing. We said these things before election, during the election. After the election, we are still saying these things. So after 6 years, you will evaluate them, their performance, and match their performance to everything we've been saying on this radio and see whether we were lying. Match the performance to all of our analysis here and see whether we were telling we're not telling the truth. We know these people. We don't know them from a distance. We know them closely. They can't do anything. One of my men is deputy director somewhere. The man say he want to join, he won't go LRA. But a BUP man who can be sitting down on class reload there, we only more talking how everything good in the country. He said he now want the job to the play and then he won't go to LRA. Yeah, it's one of the deputy commissioners. Why? Because money there.
LRA lucrative.
They are chasing money. They want to enrich themselves. They want to increase the size of their pockets and their wallets and their bags and purses. They don't care about you. It is about them. They are United Partisans who do not have jobs. But that man, because of his proximity to the president and other people in the president's circle, he's at the verge of leaving his current job. He's deputy at where he is. And he said he wants to leave from there and go as deputy at LRA. Because at LRA, he gets a tenure job. 1, 2, he gets paid more, I'm told twice than what he's making down there in terms of benefits and everything. So what he's going to, he's leaving a non-tenure job and chasing a tenure job because he's chasing job security and more money. He's not advocating for you, that UP partisan. He's not advocating for that unity partisan who is equally qualified to him or even more than him to get or occupy that vacancy at LRA. He's lobbying to get it himself. When there are many partisans out there who are qualified, some are even right inside LRA qualified, they want a job. And they are preferring a man who already has a job.
Yeah, to gain another job.
It's all about them. It has always been about them. And it will never be about you, the ordinary people. 99% of the Unity Party folks that are in strategic positions, they will never govern this country with the mindset that governance should be about you. They see governance to be about them. It is about them. It's not about you. They care less about you. A system, a political system organized that will celebrate, that will denigrate rulings, multiple rulings from the court. That will question multiple rulings from the court that do not go their way. Just sit and imagine
And think about it.
that a political system, that from the hierarchical order of the Unity Party, whether it is the elite class in the UP or it is the leadership people from the leadership side in the UP, that hierarchical order where you see them together in that clique, they all are in a habit of denigrating rulings, decisions that come from the courts, because the decisions do not favor them. There are serious people there who really want to govern, who believe in good governance and respect for rules, respect for laws. No. Imagine somebody look at the court and question the decision. The other men say the jurors are one of the jurors is a sedition. So I'm like, this guy, I know him. He teaches at AMEU. Yes. This man is an instructor at AMEU. Then he goes to Facebook and say, one of the jurors that sedition. I call him. I said, man,
small-mindedness.
I want to call you for one reason. Because I know we argue. I said, my man, let me tell you something. That job you get at that port, that good morning, 32, 35, that good morning, yeah, for your age.
They take.
Yes. I said, but you see, when you are public official, that's one thing. But you are a lecturer at a serious university in this country. You have students that are following you directly or indirectly, or knowing it or unknowingly. Nothing in your conscience. There's nothing exist in your conscience to help you to reason when you're making these statements in the public. Our jury system is organized in a way where they go for civil servants. That's the first thing. And civil servants will always be CDC and seditions, Unity Partisans, ANC people, Liberty Party people. They will always be.
They can be taken from your mayor, be taken from space.
Because those people can vote. They can campaign. Civil servants can vote. They can campaign. It is their constitutional right. But the law says the jurors must be selected. Civil servants. They write the office, and the office supply the civil servant or civil servants to the courts. So when they write your office and say, send out 3% for this term of court, the office will go attention a letter to our senior management or HR, blah, they select the 3% and send them to the court. They don't know the cases they send the people for.
No.
That's the thing. They don't tell you send the people for this particular case. They only tell them send jurors. Send 3% as juror for the period for the month of for the other February term of court, March term of court or stuff. So those jurors are randomly selected with no mindset that they are going to be placed on a particular case. And the management team or leadership and the different government entities do not go looking for partisans to send to the court. Because that court is non-political, or it should be non-political. In our courtroom, it's non-political. So the HR does his or her selection, send it to senior management, they review it, approve it, because they are criteria that you're not supposed to have criminal record, so they do background, they send your names to the court. The court will train you, orientate you, and assign you to different cases. Assign different cases. Yeah, the court has its own way of affecting. Because there are some people, depending on the cases and things, some cases are political, and they want to know whether you're affiliated with political party before, whether they want to know, and they will ask you these questions to know. That's why even this banner, I think the jury panel in the Kufa case. Because I think they identified one of the ladies said she was a sedition, and answering call, she admitted that she was a sedition and stuff, But even though that was not enough, they replaced her with another person, but they used that to disband the entire panel. So these things, so basically we're saying to you, that young man is telling his students that tomorrow, in case that student becomes a lawyer or a head of entity or an HR somewhere, when request comes from the court to supply jurors to the court, that man, that student serving as HR or in one position to make that decision, that instructor is telling that student to select on the basis of party relationship or party alliance. That's a message. So HR then should start sending people to the court on the basis of political party alliance. When you enter that court, you need your blue t-shirt also, you need your green t-shirt also. Because you don't even know the arguments that the lawyers are going to proffer. You don't know the evidence that the state or the prosecutors are going with. You don't know the evidence or the defense lawyer is going with. How do you form an opinion? Because you have to hear before you decide. The jurors must hear all arguments, all sides, and they don't serve the prior notice of the argument of punishment before they go to hear the case. So how a lecturer at a whole university will be the other person here, the sedition? Did that person not make decisions of sedition? Besides, they were 12. And everybody voted in the same direction. So they agree that person as sedition. The other 11 persons that Unity Partisans.
Why they didn't vote against?
I mean, we need to graduate, yes. Any kind of lazy, weak, childish, irresponsible, careless, and reckless way of thinking or engaging in public discourse. Especially when other people are allowed, when other people, do their job, then we denigrate them. They messing down to the port there, messing up the port. Messing up that port. Then here, one employee they're putting more on the whole court system, a whole jury system that made a decision in a condescending manner. And we call ourselves a system ready for good governance. We're not ready yet. We're ready yet. I think you can make your point or conclude your point, then we can advance to this transition to the Paris Africa summit thing, and then we can take course.
Yeah, seriously, also, even this particular situation, coincided with what transpired today when former President Weah visited a late teammate's house there in the Barnesville area to sympathize when he was leaving, to the extent that motorcyclists abandoned carrying their passengers and just immediately got the information. They just, all of them, they got behind the motorcade of the former president, and it was a huge dramatic scene to see Liberians, in fact, motorcyclists who some of them were campaigning rigorously for the Unity Party. They were all cheering and chanting "We are" and saying, "No more Baka." Yeah, we want "We are." No more Baka. It was sorrowful because the decision they already made a decision, and some people have already died. Some have already fallen to stroke. Some heart attack made them they made their untimely demise. Some have lost their homes. They have turned into rolling stones, internally displaced, even though there's no crisis that Liberia is aware of. And they were cheering for President Weah. So this is a clear manifestation and vindication of our argument here that the government Joe Bwaka is heading is wrongly proceeding. Mr. Bwaka is not treating our people fair. Our people are complaining instead of Mr. Bwaka at least having that sense of humility to listen to the cry of the Liberian people by easing the burden, the harsh economic burden that they are undergoing. All Mr. Bwaka continues to do through jobs. If you tell you that one bag of water in a sachet is sold for $10, Mr. Bwaka may ask you to go and fetch water from Drew River. So anything that is requested legitimately by Liberians who employed Mr. Bwaka, he responds with cheek, disdainful comments, condescending remarks, and disrespectful arrogance against Liberians. And I think Liberians themselves will have to at least take it upon themselves to regain their dignity. This president cannot be denigrating you to that level when you continue to sit idly and you can't do anything, and everybody just afraid. Nobody wants to talk. In fact, that's why you will see many of the unity partisans, you will see them not even coming to provide defense for the unity party. And this is what is going on. Most of the staunch unity partisans are not in a position to respond to all of these things that are happening because they are blatant enough for the entire world to see and feel that Bwaka does not have that capacity to lead us as a people. If Bwaka had that capacity to lead us as a people, by now, we can be talking about electricity. No, because Bwaka served as vice president for 12 years. So all of the connection that is needed for prosperity and development. Seriously, Austin. He's supposed to have had them because it was one of the major matters on which his campaign was ran. So it means that all the time they've been boasting of experience since he was packed. Then it means he should not count that as an experience. Okay. Because if you were packed and you did not make any impact, then how come you are boasting of experience? Your experience should commensurate with the number of years that you serve. But this president leading our country into the toilet, and you get one Darius DeLong who, when President Weah was in power, he was using all of the reckless remarks against President Weah. Today, he himself recognized that the president's house is in a roundabout. But DeLong will never muster the courage to come back to Liberians the way they are encouraging the public works and other people to break the common people homes. Yeah, I plan to drag the ball inside. Yes, seriously, because before coming on the show, I watched that he reckless remark when he said chose Stone. Yeah, we got people to deal with it. So Austin, what is unfolding now is a very serious matter that Liberians will have to take due cognizance of. Liberians should not be sitting down there, you just silent, and Bwaka is doing anything that he wants to do. That's why the Constitution was framed in a way it was written. For you, the people, to have the power to get back your happiness. If at all you decide to elect Junkies, Morris, and Austin Kawa, and in return we are now responding with better leadership, you have the authority to call on us for us to do what is necessary. Liberians are not speaking. Mr. Bwaka is just flowing. He feels that everything is well. He feels that what he's doing is the right thing. And Liberians are suffering. This is not a matter of waiting for 2029. The fact that these things are happening, they are direct threats to the security and peace of our country. Hungry people are always angry people. So if the hunger continues to grow as it is growing on an exponential basis, I think that this country will be headed for chaos. This is the reason why we take up our time to call on the president to change course. We're calling on the president to change course for the peace and security of our country. That is the reason why we continue to call on the president. So the president should not ignore Liberians. What is going on now? You can compare with the Ebola time. That Ebola time, people buy a bag of water for $10, so it means it happened before it should happen now. What is the crisis that Mr. Bwaka have on hand that he can justify all of these increments that are going on. Mr. Bwaka cannot justify. He can't justify it. Even if Mr. Bwaka wants to justify, they have problem with the past regime as it relates to regulating process. For the past regime, under Mr. Weah, there were stimulant, there were subsidies to stimulate the economy so as to ease the burden on the common people. What Bwaka is doing, instead of reducing the burden on the common people, Bwaka is inflicting more economic hardship on our people. Today, many of our people are going to bear without a cup of gari to eat. Liberians don't even have the money to go buy water. Right now, water is sold for $10. All of these things combined in my mind place Mr. Bwaka and Jeremiah Kun in a position of a negligible leadership, and it shows the blatant incapacity to lead this country for Liberians to be happy. So, Austin, to be honest with you, I think Liberians will need to wake up. They every day talk, Bwaka, the men used to that thing, they say Liberian people can just talk after 2 weeks, the case die. So I think the next step could lead to civil action by Liberians, because buying 10-hour water to get Gary say it's not easy. The people reducing the Gary now, you see $20 Gary, generate 10-hour sugar. All those things, they are very much provocative. And in my mind, if care is not taken by Mr. Bwaka and Kun, this country will be on the verge of chaos, because I don't think it is possible that hungry people will just allow Mr. Bwaka to continue his opulence in broad daylight with almost $2 to $3 million vehicle in his motorcade. Liberians will not continue to take that. So I think Liberians themselves will need to open their minds. They will need to see in between as to who is the best person to lead this country, so that they plenty talking every day reduce. We'll go do our different thing, our different hustle. I'm a man Austin, KOK, and other colleagues.
So has Mr. Bwaka spoken in Kenya?
No, not yet.
In actual session,
No, not yet.
An official.
Not yet.
Not
yet. I think if he did that, but now.
But you see, the Paris Africa summit is a strategic partnership, and is extremely important for the two countries. There are fears that we're going to talk about, especially from Liberia side, concerns from Liberia side, because I don't know what message, interest, and position is Mr. Bwaka taking to that he took to Nairobi, because there are bigger countries there. There are giants in Africa there who are at the front bench, of the conversation. It's important we mention that, because France, we have to ask the question why. Why the conference? We have to know why. Why is France having such a gathering at this time? It's important. Paris have been having a traditional relationship with some of these West Africa, the Francophone based in West Africa, but that relationship has weakened.
Niger deserting Burkina Faso.
Yeah, yes.
Even Guinea slightly.
Yeah. So that position has weakened. That relationship, that partnership has weakened over the years. And you are talking about some of those countries. There are countries like Mali,
Niger, Burkina Faso. Guinea is also in that,
where they have rally called a putsch, all of their putsch funds.
Gabon says is going out of the orbit.
they were able to push the France troops, and they've been increasingly accused. They have increasingly accused Paris, of economic and political dominance. That has been, yeah. I believe that Paris was dominating them too much, and so they've turned to Russia, China, Turkey, the UAE, you know, India. Then have gained ground in Africa. You see Turkey doing a lot of stuff here, building military alliances and things, investment. China is heavily engaged into trade integration and all of that. Russia is obviously investing into military, military support, intelligence. So it's a whole thing. So France has to reposition. She has to reposition. And to start this conversation, you have to gather leaders of Africa and all of that. And then Mr. Bwaka now is representing Liberia for us. Unfortunately, Mr. Bwaka is representing Liberia. Yeah. So when you research, you realize that France has some objectives. And that's why I asked initially, what has Bwaka taken, to Nairobi? Because you have to know first what you have to go to that conversation with a mindset, with an idea of what Paris wants from you. So what does Paris want from Liberia? So because Paris interest must be able to align with yours.
your interest.
Yeah, so once they cannot align, anyway, we'll listen to Bwaka. We'll try to get his presentation and see what he said or what the kind of engagement they made on there, the impact and all of that. But we have to understand, mind you, Mr. Bwaka, the country has just Mr. Bwaka made an appeal to the US, about how we reach mineral. He wants the US to come and help us to evaluate our mineral and all the kind of stuff, to know the value of our mineral and all of that. Paris wants that. France wants to remain a major global power. And France sees Africa, as a central space to that ambition. Africa has critical minerals. Africa has huge population growth. Africa has expanding consumer markets. Africa has strategic maritime routes. Africa has votes in global institutions. Liberia sits on the UN Security Council as a member. So Liberia now has to start identifying her challenge, her priorities to see where they align and how she can leverage that opportunity by making some strategic demands too. Okay? And then we're talking about enormous energy potential. Yes, Africa does. So Paris needs that. By hosting this summit in Kenya and focusing on Anglophone Africa, France is signaling to the world. We no longer relying on former colonies. France is clear. Let's meet. Let's have a conversation, because we can rely on these people. These are our colonies. We colonize them.
But who chose them again?
We can't rely on them. So we have to reposition. So Paris now wants stronger ties with Kenya. Paris wants stronger ties with Nigeria. Paris wants stronger ties with Ghana, with South Africa. Paris needs the East African economies. He needs the East African economies. In general, he needs all the economies in East Africa. I mean, they need all the economies in East Africa. Economic access, for example. Paris obviously wants contracts for French companies. Do we have the market here? We don't have. So they need East African economies.
You need calling for we start having that conversation.
So they want contracts for French companies. They want access to Africa's infrastructure projects. They want digital markets, energy partnerships, logistic corridors. They want telecom expansion. I don't think we have one here. I don't know the relation. I think Orange or used to be connected with some French thing.
Yeah,
I don't know whether
Orange,
they still have that.
Orange is a
But they
French
want
company.
but they want to expand in
Orange.
telecommunication in Africa. They need it. Paris need it. Paris wants Africa's raw materials. Liberia definitely has a market for telecommunication. Liberia has the market. Liberia has the capacity. Liberia has raw materials, raw minerals. Liberia has it. Liberia is exploding, is trying to expand her digital market. She doesn't have the technical or the capacity, the technology, or the ever whatsoever. Paris could help in that direction. That is if the Liberian delegation is looking in that direction or is thinking the way we thinking
The way
here.
we're thinking.
Or who are those on the delegation that may be knowledgeable about trying to set a stage or build an infrastructure there that will attract
The necessary
identify these
investment.
yes, identify them. It's very important. It's very important. So at that summit, we know that France had announced about 23 billion in June, collectively 23 billion investment. 23 billion investment ain't no joke. So Paris telling you we get 23 billion investment. We got 23 non-billion per billion investments. But that money is coming from different places. Different places. It's a joint investment coming from different places. There are companies, the Total Energies. We just heard the Total Energy deal. So now we're getting to know why that deal was being put.
Yes.
So you already know now who was behind.
So
Okay. So what's the Total Energy is there? So we're just talking about Orange.
yeah, Orange.
Yes. It's a big networking thing. They were really operating in this
Even
Francophone
the
countries.
telecell is from France.
Then CMA, CGM. It's a conglomeration of different things. They involve into mining, they involve into energy thing, they involve into tourism. So they have a lot of stuff they involve into, I think, education as well. So these are companies that are coming that have been able to raise French companies, French, been able to generate over 23 billion to come and invest in Africa. I can Liberia leverage that opportunity. And this money they clear. They say the money here. But this 23 billion, these are the sectors we're targeting to invest the money. We're targeting ports. We're targeting clean energy. We're targeting AI. We're targeting transportation. We're targeting telecoms. We're targeting industrial infrastructure. That's not a charity program that they go to. So, but I ain't going big. That thing, that's not charity program. Where you go, oh, but I come out on the 3 million. No.
You got to showcase what you got.
Yes. They're not charity program. So the first thing you all need to know is that you will not see a press release from Kula for Fana tell you, Mr. Bar, I've been giving 26 million grand. No charity being on there. It's a strictly strategic geopolitical engagement. I'm bringing this, you'll come and tell me what you'll get.
Resource swap deal.
Yeah. This is what I'm bringing. What you get? What you can offer me? That's what it's about. That's what it's about. So what did we take to Nairobi will position us strategically to be able to leverage or use our potential, whether mineral potential or whatsoever. Because that bro beating on it, you won't find girl, she got today. She won't they can wear brown. So the women when they won't show the nipple. Because only thing they get is something to try. So that bro story about mineral. That bro story about mineral like Eden. Like bro go China, she get mineral. That bro go America, she get mineral. That bro go Russia, she get mineral. Liberia go South Africa, she get mineral. She go Paris, mineral. She go Germany, mineral. With Belgium, mineral. But the mineral and stay here being exploited. With Liberia getting nothing. The question again is, what did Liberia take
To the table. What think you carry to the table?
And the collective question is, what does Africa want from France too? What does Africa want from France? Some believe that Africa is not entering, African governments are not entering this summit from a weak position. I believe that.
They got leverage.
We know that, sure. We know that many leaders now believe or supposed to now believe that Africa has more leverage and more leverage than before. Because we have to consider the multiple global powers. They are competing.
We are in a multipolar war now. That unipolar system finish.
Global powers are competing for influence. Russia is competing. Russia has successfully been able to push France out of
Burkina Faso, Mali,
these Francophone countries.
Yeah, even the Guinea, Niger.
So you see the competition. So these multiple global powers, they are seriously competing. They want to reposition and some wants to strengthen because it's about influence. Africa, Bwaka government must rethink or must think strategically. Because look, the African side, I don't know about Liberia, but I've been reading and following stuff, conversations from Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania. Yes. The African side, some African governments, they are clear. They are pushing for fair financing. They are pushing for fair financing. They are pushing for fair financing. They want to have access to global financial institutions. Fair access, unhindered access. They want reform in these global financial institutions that will position Africa as not as a beneficiary, but as a decision maker. They believe that Africa, for too long, Africa has been unfairly labeled as highly rigged. Highly rigged. So other countries walk into the IMF and the World Bank, they walk away with billions. With comfortable conditionalities. Africa walk to the IMF, the conditionalities are so tight. The bureaucracy. Recently, I was talking about the IMF thing with the external credit facility to Liberia. You waiting to you are approving $223+ million for Liberia, and you giving 10% of that money. Yes, almost 10% because as 26 million, that's like 9%, 9.89 something%. So that's 10% of the money. On which condition? On whose approval? Who did the negotiation? You announcing to give me $222 million over the period of 5 years, and you give me $26 million. You give me $10 million as an immediate disbursement. What do I do with 23 million as a country, as a developing country? Who's making the case for Liberia? Why did we even accept 23 million out of 223 million approved from the World Bank, and you're going to give the money over the period of 5 years? In the first year, you get 26. So how many years? So you will not, at the end of the day, trust me, the conditionalities will be so tight, the bureaucracy will be huge. You will not get the total $223 plus million, and your government will laugh, and the news will be in the public that you signed $223 million agreement with the World Bank or the IMF. Or the IMF. Boom, the people say Africa corrupt or the Liberian government corrupt. Because I mean, and so when other African leaders are pushing for a decision, for a role in the IMF to be a decision maker, they're right. They are right. Borrowing costs are excessively high. I just spoke about that. What African countries go to the IMF for to credit, to the European Union or stuff for aid, they go there, they increase the rate. The cost is high. And these credit rating institutions, they exaggerate the African rates. They exaggerate the African rates. I saw one president whose name I will not call because of the information I'm about to put out. One Liberian president, let me see, I didn't forget about that information. I'll forget about that. So we have to have these. We got only two former presidents will get any job. I start with two of them. So let me forget about them. Africa will have to make a case, a collective case. I know all the African countries cannot benefit equally, but we have to collectively make a case that will benefit everyone, depending on what you have to offer, the partnership. And I know these discussions will include credit rating agency. We were talking about that, low borrowing costs, all that. These are the conversations we should be having. Our credit rate is too low. This agency rate us in a manner that nobody even wants to give us money. They've given you money. They say we'll give the money, but we'll give it to you in a period of 5 years. Because our credit rating is low. It's not encouraging. We have to start having conversation about debt restructuring. How do we compare or negotiate these with the IMF, for example, especially to start restructuring our debts? We have to reform these global financial institutions, and Africa must have a strategic seat at the table to have these conversations. We can't be left outside the room when these discussions about reform are being held. Does our president have the wherewithal, the intellect, the knowledge, the connection to give him a seat, to earn him a seat at that table we're talking about? This is the question we should be asking. Does Joseph Boakai have the wherewithal? Does he have the knowledge? Does he have the connection? Does he have the bravery, if he's giving us that, to push? Because first, to push these arguments, you have to be knowledgeable. They're talking about technology transfer, AI ecosystem, digital infrastructure, industrial manufacturing, renewable energy technology, pharmaceutical capacity. I know we'll get one company here producing medicine. Yes, no problem. And yes, France has good schools.
When a country that I don't know.
Yeah, France has good schools. Talking about skill development. Africa wants Europe, or should be pushing for Europe to buy more African processed goods. They're coming to you now to negotiate. This is a perfect space. So you go there, you tell France.
Exploit your leverage.
France is a big brother in the European Union. It's a big brother in the European Union. And the way the European Union is structured, they say, you produce this, you produce that, you produce that, you produce this. can Paris, can we use our partnership with Paris to encourage European countries, the European Union, to buy African processed goods, reduce trade barriers? People complain that to trade for Africa to trade in Europe is so expensive. The bureaucracy is the other day my friend called me, my man. I mean to send barrel from here down here. To send container from he's in the UK. I mean to send container from here is too expensive. The bureaucracy. Just to the man comes down, he complains, I mean, I want to use car business. To even send one car down and joke the bureaucracy. Africa wants to trade in Europe, but the bureaucracies are hard. Now Africa has the space to make that case. Africa must trade in Europe. We must reduce the trade barriers. We must reduce it. We can't always be having conversation about raw material extraction. Because every time Europe comes to Africa, that raw material extraction we're talking about. Every time Europe comes to Africa, that raw material extraction they're talking about. How do we go beyond? Let's sit on the table. Let's have a conversation beyond just extracting our raw materials. Let's trade. Come here and trade. Let's go there and trade. Reduce the trade, the barriers on trade. Let's be able to ship our processed materials to Europe. Let European eat our cassava leaf. Let European eat our coconut, our how you call it? Our fufu. Tech, hub for tech. These are the conversation. Kenya is positioning herself as Europe's gateway to East Africa. I say you thought East Africa in Europe or other places. Kenya. Waka Okama here. Somebody talk about China TV billion. Yeah. Because we just write speeches and go there and go to these summits. We don't take anything substantial there. We just go there for the political, maybe fun or stuff. Oh, our president went Kenya and represented us. We're talking about it. So you start hearing Kenya talking about infrastructure financing, AI investment, logistics, green energy stuff, tourism, and financial services. Like people will come back, we still be talking nothing. Nigeria is attracted because Nigeria attracts interest because she has a huge population. She has a fine technology sector. She has energy resources. She has manufacturing potential. Then the biggest is that she has huge influence on the continent. Don't forget, France wants stronger economic engagement there because she has lost influence elsewhere. South Africa, for example. South Africa remains Africa's most industrialized economy. South Africa, no argument about that. South Africa remains Africa's most industrialized economy. So obviously, it is important, or it attracts France because they have money in manufacturing, renewable energy, continental diplomacy. Those are countries that stand to benefit. So you need to know these things. Then when you're going down there, you know how to position yourself to engage Paris. And there are other small countries, and we'll be looking at, for example, Rwanda has a digital economy, a strong digital economy. Senegal is endowed in energy and gas. Cote d'Ivoire, for example, agribusiness and finance. These are the potentials. Ghana, we can celebrate Ghana for farm tech and regional trade. Ethiopia, we can celebrate them for that manufacturing skill. But there are risks also associated that anybody can talk about, But at the end of the day, we are concerned about Liberia. How Liberia can leverage this opportunity. How she can leverage this opportunity. Because it's an opening. It's an opening for Liberia. Liberia is relatively under-engaged. Liberia is relatively under-engaged. Liberia is talking to nobody. Liberia is talking to nobody. Liberia is having conversation with nobody. Nobody. Liberia is not talking to Washington. Liberia is not talking to Paris. Liberia is not talking to Britain. Liberia is not talking to Brussels. Liberia is not having conversation with anybody. She's under-engaged. Even in the sub-region, Liberia is not engaged. In Africa, Liberia remains under-engaged. Our president does not have a friend. Say that Joseph Boga best friend here. Say that Joseph Boga best friend here. Who is Liberia's biggest development partner? Who is Liberia's biggest business partner? There's no relationship. We have clients. Liberia get clients. We don't have relationship. They were mocking George Weah and his relationship with Paris. Mm-hmm. Where is it today?
He crying now for Paris.
Yes.
Crying on a belly for
we
Paris.
We are walking to Nigeria, into Ghana, into Paris. When we are goes to Ghana, they were mocking. Oh, we are going to Ghana. The president of Ghana will complain that we are in telling go Ghana. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but because those places, those leaders saw we are as their son, as their own. So he could go to a country anytime. We don't have these strategic partners. And all these agreements that we're talking about, they were all signed, or the conversation all started when we was in power. Liberia. How does Liberia benefit? Whether we know how, whether we are thinking about avoiding, because that's the first we have to do. We have to avoid attempting to compete directly with Nigeria or Kenya. We're not equal. So the African people beyond Baka will tell you, say, we are equal here. Where Nigeria standing, let's go stand there. Where Kenya standing, let's go stand there. Where South Africa standing, let's go stand there too. You compete, and you come back with nothing. But when you learn Nigeria, along with Nigeria, along with South Africa, along with Kenya, they will have your interest embedded in their case
plan and their agenda.
Yeah. So they have your interest embedded in their case. So when they're making their case to Paris, they tell you they're identifying Liberia's potential in the case as a strategic partner that they can align with in the conversation. Then Paris gets attracted to Liberia. Say, oh, if Kenya is referencing Liberia's mineral potential. South Africa is referencing Liberia's mineral potential, and then Nigeria is referencing Liberia's mineral potential. I feel we can give Liberia a seat at the table. Let's have a conversation. Let's see what they Liberia. What do you so? But you go compete now Liberia because on my you have areas that Paris will want to target. Like I said, your green mineral and mining value chain. You have iron ore, you have gold, we have critical mineral potential, yeah. And our Atlantic Ocean is strategic to attract tourism. Are we taking these conversations, these things to the table? Or we're going to West Coast and take picture and put it on Facebook and go live and we satisfied? Are we? Can Liberia push for mineral processing inside Liberia? Does Bwaka have the balls to sit at that table at the Paris? We have our mineral. Come and be a processor. You can't process mineral in our country. We had conversation about that thing before. Mineral processing, yeah?
Sure.
Do you know where it is for Europeans and Americans to come to your country to buy your processed gold or your processed mineral? Iron ore. Paris, can you process iron ore yet? Can you process our gold yet? Liberia can push for this. We need to modernize our rail. Can we have that embedded in our conversation?
How many will get say?
Because mind you, Paris is telling you have money to invest in ports.
And the man according plenty of money.
Sure. Can you engage them? Can you engage them? Where's our kids? We say we not let your person now we can guard you.
Give us some pieces of advice.
Yes. Because we don't want tomorrow when you make a mistake. We want tomorrow when you're kind with nothing. You want justify. We say no. We help you.
Yeah.
We aided you. We held conversations about your meetings, your different meetings. We asked some questions. We provided some recommendations or suggestions. Did you all take it? No. So you can't get angry because I'm criticizing or critiquing you. We're looking at our maritime and logistic hub. Okay. Paris, based on what we have seen at Paris once, you can attract Paris. You have one of the world's largest shipping registries. Yes. We mentioned your Atlantic coastline. We can generate millions from tourism. Small Serenity, see how much money Serenity generating from tourism just from the use of our beaches. Look at our proximity to West Africa trade routes. Look at our proximity. Guinea, Sierra Leone, Ghana, Africa Coast. We're connected and go by roads to most of the countries, and we can add Togo them. How many countries we can use to trade by road? Liberia. So considering these proximities. Again, Paris talking about infrastructure in Africa. Right now, ECOWAS is talking about connecting Africa through roads. Yeah? So you've seen the potentials. You've seen the attractions.
So true that you have
Sure.
an easy way to make your case.
Sure. You seeing that?
Because there is already a glaring situation of Liberia's attracting investment.
Now, direct appeal or direct engagement on particular projects.
Sure.
Sector.
Because you can't get everything now.
Liberia could position the Freeport of Moravia.
Sure.
Liberia could position
it's a priority. It's a priority issue.
Yeah, Buchanan. Liberia could position
they put a harbor.
Our logistic corridors. They put a harbor.
Yeah, they put a harbor. Us the Wabi, you won't call harbor. Harbor needs to be.
Yes. Just if I did closer to
Cote d'Ivoire. So it makes it much more easier that Haposel could serve as the conduit between our trade with Cote d'Ivoire. Yeah.
So they're talking about all that finance, logistics, and all of that. Those firms could become interested in if Liberia and to help Liberia improve both efficiency or transparency in there. I don't know that one whether but I going to be transparent. Digitize your custom program. We need that because once you digitize custom activities, you generate more money.
Expand the tourism sector.
Energy reliability. We were just complaining about stable electricity, water price now increase from $5 to $10. Mineral water bottle from 50 to 75. So, we need to engage strategically. Paris has a lot of emphasis on renewable energy. And not just Paris, but Europe. Because there are European investors that are aggressively seeking solar and solar, hydro, and all that kind of stuff, carbon markets. The European investors, European companies. Look at Liberia's hydropower potential. It remains heavily underdeveloped. You need a strong strategy that will combine French financing, Liberian energy reform, and our regional power export ambitions. But it depends on what we're thinking or what we talk to Nairobi. Whether we just put back $800 shoe then in a suitcase, a $300 share then with neon day, a $700 stuff, a 50,000, 35,000 watches and thing, and put it in a carry to go take picture. It depends what they took back out to Nairobi with. And he expensive colognes. So he can be walking and put in your pocket and pay it now and be bluffy. That place to put your head, to keep your head up. And other things. So we're not talking about education and diplomacy, we're talking about Paris. Places they have schools. Push for scholarships. The year. You got the war now is open. You can sit out here. You get to open a scholarship scouting room or platform. You have people who have the experience, 3 or 4 or 5 of them putting in that room, fully internet at the Ministry of Education. They can be there only responsible to scout scholarships for Liberians. The Ministry of Education can do that one. So we don't need our person to go be telling Paris,
I'm begging your few slots of scholarship.
No, we don't need that.
No.
I told one assistant minister at Ministry of Education, he said, "Oh, yeah, it's a fine idea. Today, how many years?" That was in 2024. 2024. I made that suggestion. Hey, your coordinate foreign scholarship, Ministry of Education, just need one room. Put AC there. Make sure you're always having coffee and tea for the people there. Put 5 serious active people beginning there. And let it sit down there. Build your software and just a scholarship of scouting office there. You will start supplying Liberia. Make sure at least every year, say Ministry of Education send 30 persons, 50 persons out of this country to go study. Within the period of 3 years, how many persons you, just your effort, at Ministry of Education will have educated. Again, Jogi Murray, they're not listening. We talk, they say we are men. So they get listen to But Mr. Weir knows it. Now you know the quality of people Mr. Weir are behind the microphone that are supporting Mr. Weir. Now you know that. Because some of us, even if the West Keys, because they did hear my name in Weir government, it mean that West Keys. Because I say every day, Joya win election tomorrow, you now hear my name on, let's say, Osikawa, Mr.
Remember they won't be press secretary.
No.
To eat Kula Fofana win, you're not your win.
Joe will become president. You will not get money on a list.
Still.
Yeah, money will not be there. I told you all that. I said, on one condition I can accept appointment in we are government even win. That is, I will be head of entity and I will have unhindered access to him directly. You know what? Yeah, because
I know.
Because I won't be head of entity that he get access to the president. Because one minister of state not giving me hard time or studying the things I want to do there, my reform process, or this because the reform process is affecting somebody.
That is close to that minister, and the minister got proximity to the president.
Way, everything I will be doing, I want him to be in the know directly. Especially so depending the sector he might want to send. So with those two conditions, that you be head of entity and you have unhindered access of me, and everybody in the whole country will know that they may are appointing the man here. I'm giving you unhindered access on the basis of what he wants to do for the player. Nobody can tell me, say,
yeah,
my man.
Your good thing you want to do, they just put it under the carpet.
No.
They can't even reach to the president.
Because come to think about it, bro, how come 12 years plus 6 years? We're talking 18, almost 20 years running. Because I said 18. Joe, we are at 18. Waka 3, 2024, 20,
21 years.
How come 21 years running? We are unable to have stable electricity. We are unable to restore water. Just to Morovia, Central Morovia. I say different place. I say cross the bridge. Don't cross the bridge. Don't cross UL. Just around here. Don't cross UL. From UL, from Capitol Hill there. Internal affair, you go beyond there. You go Buse Quarter. Just the Central Morovia. We don't have stable water in the small space. We don't have stable electricity in the small space. 21 years running, we are unable. But we have had managing directors for water and sewer. We have had managing director for LPR, for LDC. What have we been doing there that we can call the president to go and dedicate a hydro of at least 30 megawatt of power that will supply 30 megawatt of power? Where are all of our technicians? Nobody can develop and convince and raise money to build at least a hydro that will supply our own set 30 megawatt. Also, all those managing directors who were at LPR, or LWSC, you won't tell me all those managing directors, nobody could say in Morovia for the last 3 years, water has never stopped. If we don't have, we play with our contingency plan. So we plan to restore or repair the 38 or 39 36 impact. Then no contingency plan to say that they have a spare or a backup that just in case that it will not affect water supply. So then, I'm like, so what are we thinking now? How are we planning? How are we planning? But 136 impact spore, it will take the whole country's 4 to 5, 6 months to repair it before we resume water supply. Like there's no contingency plan. If there is a contingency plan, we wouldn't be experiencing all these things. Or either it is there, but it is not supported or honor funded. Then the question is why it is being honor funded. What are we doing, or what have we been doing with what we were giving? This is all of us problem. It's a country problem. And look, bro, I feel so shame, and that's why I tell people this is the reason why I say I can never be deputy minister or any manager in the government until we are win. I must be here entity with a clear vision of what I want to achieve.
Your vision, your dream would just
direct answer to the president. Because my materials or equipment, what I want to do, if I can get the answer to the president due to XYZ, the minister of finance said we don't have money, so we can get this. The public will know why this plan has not been implemented. The president will have to agree. The president can agree. I said, the president, I will still be supporting you until your 6 years finish. But I want government job because I can't be deputy. Or I can't be minister. He said, he can agree for me to have unhindered access to you. So the president, I still supporting you, and I will support you for 6 years, and I will support you openly. But if I can't be here entity and get unhindered access to you, then I don't want a job. And when I perform, fire me. Don't in the team in the other say I come and beg you. Don't anybody come to you say I beg for Austin. Then I'm missing that person. Now I'm missing that person because I will not say anybody to go beg you for me. Because I signed a performance contract with you. That yes, the president will be here anything, and I will have unhindered access to you. But when I tell you I will do this within 1 year and I don't do it, and based on all of the support I requested you gave to me and I don't do it, fire me. And nobody should appeal to you to keep in there. Fire me. Except where there are unforeseen that the public knows, now that you know and want to consider me because I am beginning or no. No. We set these benchmarks, we move on junkies, then we make good. Dang, where you go?
Sure.
But all these things, I get where you go, man. I don't want it. We talk to our people, eh? Oh, after 10, though.
Yeah. Maybe we can squeeze in 5 callers.
Not even listen. I'm not even watching it. Let's see. Let's go up to 8.
Yeah,
that was 10, 15. Yeah.
Let's just see a few minutes from Charleston.
Yeah.
86 500 104. 86 500 104. 776 104 104. 776 104 104. This first caller on line 1. Hello.
Yeah, hello, Chunky Morris and Austin Sawa.
Go ahead.
Yeah, well, Mohammed Donald Fana Jr., a five son of Lover County. Well, Chunky Morris and Austin Sawa, I don't want to tell you a lot. This government really, to be frank to you guys,
Hello. Hello. Yeah, go ahead quickly.
What kind of meaning because the show the they can't do more betting? What kind of man?
Hello. Yeah, fine. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh.
Yeah, Junkies Morris. What do you expect for us to receive from the government? All of the pieces that you guys giving, it's like you guys just hitting your head for nothing. Because you talk to somebody who will listen and do it for you. But you talk to somebody who don't listen or they listen and don't do it, then what is it? It's just better we pray and get on it and now reach for me. That's my own thought.
Yeah, we agree with you. We pray they turn it on an region. Let's talk to is this Saturday?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Let's see.
I think Austin, you welcome back. How long you will be with us?
I'm here.
Okay.
If all goes well.
I've been missing you.
Yeah, thank you.
I've been missing you. I just want to say something about what you've been telling us. Liberia has a sale or market according to the present day reality.
Yeah.
Firestone been in Liberia for 100 years. This year making 100 years. What have Liberia benefited from Firestone? We have 4 iron ore companies in Liberia from 1950, from the 50s to 1980, prior to the war. What did Liberia achieve from the iron ore companies? Nothing. You're talking about water. I just want to delay your time for water. 1990, June 20. Actually, June 20, 1990, when Prince Johnson entered the hydro, we went out of water.
Wow.
At the same time, 1990, the same day, we went out of current beside the station at the Bristol Island.
Yeah.
Current never been stable anymore. No water tower you see around the city, especially the central Monrovia, in the building or 1992. And they opened those water tower, they filled it in. It was just 2 days when Charter launched the auto parks. What am I seeing this here? We do not plan anything for the future, especially our future leaders. As for Zolpena, where his family living right now, other than in France, in Paris. I put my thing they come to sell.
Okay.
We mortgage everything. You have to go in time. Why you not value your market? You let the buyer to value it. I mean, we will not go anyway. You know how much for gas today? We have the gas that we're using here. They call it on lead. That the cheapest gas. It was $1.50 before the Ukraine war. The gas today, it was $2 and something just recent time. Right now it has gone up to $4 and something.
Okay, we want to take other callers, so I think we'll have to let you go.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
This caller on line 3. Hello. Yeah, quickly. No time. 30 seconds.
Yeah, my name is Larry calling for the power executor.
Go ahead.
Thank you for your prayer and the listening this evening, though. There's a certain day I want to ask the ruling party, that's the ruling government. The share of Twitter FM was paid by the power administration. But I want to ask you up to this time, we are still on their back. I want to know something the same thing here.
Fine question.
They say we're on, and that's a parent on. Massisi corner.
Yeah. So
that's a fun question. Back to line 1. Hello.
Hello.
Massisi that Junkie Mario to answer somebody else. So hold on.
No, the man the line.
Go ahead. All the USC debate their soup is.
Yeah, you all feel, you.
Yeah.
So you're up to class now for Boaka and Gome.
I mean, I knew that. Why you go for?
But I want to come for.
No, they
so they say get 49 and 58 years and experience. So prior and dictatorial there, I can't understand.
We have an audience. No, we have an audience. Massisi, we have an audience.
Your best friend, Lieutenant Piggy, Mo Ali. Where's Mo Ali today? Your best friend, your friend, your kids together, stick together. Where's Mo Ali? Oh, the girl that be free mob in this country. That the thing is stuff away, let us go on the further portrait and say, go move better. That's all you could do.
Baba.
Back to line 1. Hello, your name is Johnny.
Oh, dear, Massisi fighting more.
My name is Jonathan S. Susina. From Farm Street to be specific, Ratan.
Go ahead.
My brother. Thank you. Thank you, the both of you, for all of your analysis. But you know what I get to tell you? The president told us that he can't listen to Liberian media. And it was the same media he was using in 2023 election. So today, all we are going through will continue to cry. The president can't listen to Liberian media. So how are you going to listen to our cry? You see what now we are going through? The GST press, the increasement they made there. See what we're through today. Where I live, we still fetching water from back home in Front Street. Then you have the MDO on one of your sister stations saying that water is here. So one of these days, I want you to come see where we fetching water from Front Street. We're still fetching water from back home. In the 21st century, it's just sad for our country. And the president will not listen because he said he can't listen to Liberian media. Now today you get to know that people can insult on the radio and they got some media station, media online here. Causing nothing, but they will guide you, they will what you're supposed to do so our country can get better.
Thank you. Leave it there and take this second to the last call. Quickly. Well, 20 seconds.
Yeah, thank you, Morris. And I am coming on.
We okay.
We okay. Austin Kawa. Go ahead quickly, 20 seconds, no time.
Yeah, thank you for your discussion. But the only thing I want to say tonight is that the government, they are parasite.
Okay, they are parasite. The last call. Hello, your name and you joining us from where?
Thank you so much. Thank you for the issue. You know, the fact why you're giving it to the people who are not there, because that's a calamity of being upon the people there. They just want the devil before they got the power. They will never listen to us as a citizen. the people shouldn't get it fast. See what Master was saying, I support the Master 100%. Because if somebody saying that you are more experienced and I was more competent, that know the why more than even president, former president here.
We do that here because of our audience.
No, you have to just do it. You have to get the people out there. I support the Master 100%. You shouldn't get it out there to the people there. They pop in there. That part of pop in there. The children will be popping. Don't support them. So thank you for the show.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Oh yes, I can imagine how Gerald Morris is feeling tonight. Yes, we have to go. Let me say thanks to all of you for following the show tonight. Those of you who call in to make your point, we appreciate all of the points you made tonight. By God's grace, we shall be back here tomorrow. But until then, do have yourselves pleasant moments in your respective areas. My name is Austin. Junkies Morris was here, and we shall be back here tomorrow. Good night.
You got nothing to show. Nothing. So why?